Yeah, like I mentioned before, like I'm never going to be an employee. That's just not going to work for me. I would, it would be hard for me. I shouldn't say never, but um, it would take the right fit for me to be able to fit and thrive and really support someone else's business without trying to step on their toes all the time.
Welcome back to Worldie Unboxed, the Founders Edition. In this two-part episode, we sit down with Reid Edgar, the pragmatic environmentalist behind brands like Spot Detergent Sheets and Tru-Nut powdered peanut butter. Reid is challenging the eco-friendly market by making sustainable products affordable and approachable. In part one, we'll explore Reid's journey and how he's built a successful, accessible green brand. In part two, Aaron and I will dive into the key takeaways from our conversation and discuss how Reid's insight into sustainability and innovation apply to Worldie. Stay connected with us at worldiebrand.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more highlights. All right, let's talk to Reid.
So, how'd you get interested in entrepreneurship initially, and how'd you get the idea for your first business?
Um, Probably came from my dad, to be perfectly honest. I wouldn't say he was a quote entrepreneur, but he was a business owner. He had a business. And I think I wanted to be like him. I think, excuse me. Um, I was drawn to, um, the individuality of, this type of work. And, I'm very strong-willed, strong opinions, and I like that. If I believe in something, if I think something is right, and if I think I have a good idea, I can just go do it, and I don't need to ask anyone's permission. So that really appealed to my personality. I think that I I I would not be a good employee. I know that I would be a terrible employee.
And then, what's that first? I know you mentioned it's a food business. Can you just
Mhm.
describe that first business and kind of like how you got that idea?
Sure. So I started it a little over 10 years ago. I'm still running it. It's called Tru-Nut. We make something called powdered peanut butter. It's like a protein powder for made out of peanuts. So you use it in like as an ingredient in shakes and smoothies and that kind of stuff. Um, I don't have a great origin story, unfortunately. I used to after I graduated from college, I was working in a building right next to a food distributor, and I became friends with them. I got to know them, and they one day we were talking, and they said, "Hey, have you ever heard of this powdered peanut butter stuff before?" And at the time, I hadn't, and nobody knew what powdered peanut butter was 10 or 11 years ago, and so I was looking for a business to start. And so this really, you know, it felt like all the right, everything fit in, like the market conditions were right. There was not a lot of competition. It's a great product. It's healthy. It tastes really good. Um, and so it just seemed like something that I could do. I have no food background. I'm not a food scientist. I wasn't a foodie back then. I guess I'm a foodie now. Being in this business, it's hard not to be. But yeah, it was simply something that I found an opportunity, and I just learned everything I could about it. Um, so that's my that's my origin story. Are
Eh,
you
eh,
getting this background noise, by the way? There's somebody doing construction on the roof.
No, I'm not hearing anything.
Okay, good, good.
And then, what are the benefits of a powdered peanut butter versus any other type of peanut butter?
Sure. So the main benefit is it has a very low fat and caloric content compared to traditional peanut butter. So it has 90% less fat than like a creamy peanut butter because the oil has been removed. So the flavor does not really change. But if you are looking to watch your fat and calorie intake, then this is perfect for you, and you're not sacrificing any of the taste or flavor that you're used to with a product like peanut butter. It's also just easier to use. Like if you're making a shake or a smoothie, it blends up much easier than a peanut butter type product. So those are probably the two biggest benefits.
And did you find that it was kind of hard to educate consumers on the differences and the benefits of a powdered peanut butter versus what they were already familiar with?
We still have that trouble to this day. Yes. The product is much more well known now. Like it's in every grocery store, every mainstream grocery store now. However, I was talking to someone 2 days ago, and I was explaining it to them, and he said, I'm skeptical. I don't know if this is for me. I like regular peanut butter. I don't know why I would want to change. And so I explained everything to him, and I don't think I convinced him, but I was able to tell him, like, this is why it's better, and this is why, you would use it in these situations. Personally, I think the taste is better. I think it tastes less oily, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, we're still educating people on how to use it. There's really a ton of ways to use it. So we post a lot of recipes online on our website, on our social media, just telling people how to use it. And it really is very easy, but oftentimes I find that when people are given this new concept of powdered peanut butter, thinking, oh, this is great. I'm sure this is amazing, but what do I do with it? And there's a million ways to use it, but sometimes you need to say, like, this is how you use it. This is how you use it. This is how you use it. And so it needs a little bit of instruction. So it's something it will be our eternal struggle,
And then
educating people how to use it.
you mentioned that you're in basically every major retailer. Can you give us a sense of kind of like how big that company is, or the traction that you've been able to gain with that company?
So unfortunately, my company is not in every retailer, but at least one of my competitors or my brand is in just about every retailer. So, did you ask how did we?
Just like
Yeah.
sense of how big it is or traction, anything like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So it's a huge market. I think we're closing in on about $100 million of overall global market share for this category. Um, It was a slow process. When I started this business, nobody knew what powdered peanut butter was. You could only find it in, like, very crunchy health food stores. So um, I think, one of the reasons why I was drawn to this product is because I could see the potential. Like I know, first of all, it tastes very good. It has a great taste, and it's very healthy. And like I mentioned before, for people who are looking for stuff that is healthy, has a low fat content, this is perfect for them. Or even if you're not, you just want something that's easy to use in a shake, and has a really good taste. So I just knew this was going to be something that was going to take off. And over time, as more people understood what it was and we reached that mainstream awareness tipping point, the product became much more ubiquitous and much more available throughout the country, just because more people knew about it. They had tried it, they liked it, they wanted to buy it again and again. And at this point, my company, we have a very strong, like, base of customers who buy over and over again for years and years on end. Those are the people that, they tried it, they like it. And we're still trying to get new customers, but yeah, at this point we have a strong base, and that keeps us going.
And you mentioned that you didn't have a food background. So what was that process like of developing this product? You could just, I guess, walk us through the product development phase for Tru-Nut.
A lot of trial and error. Um, I would mix ingredients. In my kitchen at home, I would mix ingredients together. I would mix it up, taste it. I would make notes like, oh, not enough flavor. Oh, it's too salty, or not, the flavor isn't strong enough. And I had tons and tons of formulations that I'd created. It took me about a month to get exactly what I wanted. And fortunately, this product, I was able to do that without, a lot of background. This was something that I could make myself. I could figure out myself. And so that was also something that drew me to this business.
And now you have another company too. So had you thought about serial entrepreneurship before, or did that just kind of happen?
Yeah, like I mentioned before, like I'm never going to be an employee. That's just not going to work for me. I would, it would be hard for me. I shouldn't say never, but um, it would take the right fit for me to be able to fit and thrive and really support someone else's business without trying to step on their toes all the time. Um, so I knew I was going to start something new. My new business, Spot Detergent, is much more aligned with my passions, which are environmentalism and promoting eco-friendly causes. So when I discovered this product, it really spoke to me personally and really, aligns with my passions and ambitions. So I knew it was a fit pretty early on.
So can you talk just a little bit more about what spot detergent is, how it's different from other products on the market, and also just the inspiration behind the idea?
Yeah. So the the inspiration, as I said, it's I care a lot about, environmental issues. I don't well, let me explain what the product is first. It's um so we make something called detergent sheets, laundry detergent sheets. So instead of using like liquid detergent or a powder detergent, you take a sheet, which looks like a little piece of paper. All of the detergent is absorbed into the sheet. So when you put the sheet in your washing machine, it disperses the cleaning solution and cleans your clothes. So it works basically like a detergent pod. You just throw it in your washing machine and it starts cleaning the clothes. So it's very easy to use, and they're very lightweight. So it's not like one of those giant jugs of liquid detergents that you buy at a grocery store. And then we don't have any plastic packaging as well. So, which goes along with, what's important for me as an environmentalist. As for the inspiration, it was, I've always had a lot of strong beliefs about, how to best promote like eco-friendly causes and how to get more people on board. Um, and I don't think preaching an environmental message is really the way to do it. I think that will only go so far. And in order to, remove plastic from our supply chain and our waste stream on a massive scale, like for example, in the United States alone, we use 700 million plastic jugs of laundry detergent every single year. So that's 700 million jugs that end up in a landfill every single year. And so in order to make a dent in that number, we have to be able to appeal to people, to more people than just ones that are passionate about the environment. Like that's a pretty low percentage of people. So my goal was to not focus on the environment, focus on making a high quality product that's convenient and easy to use, that works just as well, if not better, than the traditional liquid detergent. Um, I don't, I think a lot of people, when they see eco-friendly products, they think this is not for me, or this is, this doesn't align with what's important to me, or they're speaking to, wealthy consumers who buy this stuff at massive prices. And so I don't want people to feel like we're being exclusionary or like we're not open, or we don't want certain people to buy our products. So I want everyone to feel like welcome to buy this, to welcome to make an eco-friendly choice. And it's not going to cost a lot of money. Like our product is cheaper than the traditional detergent. So I didn't want that to be a barrier for people to make the eco-friendly choice.
And same kind of question like I was asking about powdered peanut butter. Is
Cool.
this a space where there are already kind of a decent amount of competitors, or is this a newer space and mainly the competitors are liquid detergent or kind of like Tide Pods, things like that?
Um, obviously there's, Tide and Arm& Hammer and Gain, there's those brands, those entrenched brands, but there is a lot of competition in the detergent sheet space. Almost all online though, almost all on Amazon. Most of them are cheap imports from China that are, the cost is next to nothing to make these. And the market is flooded with those types of products. My goal, obviously, I do want to sell online and on Amazon. Our products are made in Sweden. They're about as high quality as you can get. But we want to, like I said, I want to bring this to a mainstream audience. I want everyone to be able to get this type of product. So we're not just selling online, and we're not just selling in stores like Whole Foods. In fact, we're not going after those types of stores. We're going after stores like Dollar Tree and Family Dollar and Menards, which is like a Home Depot type store, because I want to be able to reach people where they shop, and not everybody shops at Whole Foods. Not everybody shops on Amazon. So that's part of the goal of reaching everyone is being available where they are.
And, if you do reach everyone, it seems like it'll be easier to sell to people who care about the environment. But for those people who don't really care that much about the environment, maybe they're kind of fine buying the same old brands over and over again. What's the value proposition for them, or what's the reason that they buy? Is it the quality and the price, or is it something else?
Yeah, it has to do, I think, with a product like detergent, often people, they go to the store and it's not something that they spend a lot of time thinking about. They just look like, oh, this is cheap, this looks good, let me take this. And so I want my product to be priced better than the traditional offering, which it is. But also it has to do with the convenience and ease of use. So it's something that can be very easily explained. So all of the instruction is on the product. There's 3 simple steps that explain how to use it. And I think the fact that it doesn't take up a lot of space is also nice. Like one package of our product weighs about 1/4 of a pound. So you're not lugging around a big jar of detergent. And if you're in like an apartment or a small house, like it doesn't take up a lot of space in your house. So I really think it's kind of a win-win on all fronts. Again, it's just a matter of educating consumers, letting them know not only that this exists, but this is a product that would be very beneficial to them. So it's all of those things, plus it has a great price.
And what are maybe 1 or 2 things that you learned while running Tru-Nut that you felt like you really wanted to apply and maybe not, I don't want to say screw up again, but, learn your lesson and apply it and not do the same thing again with your second company?
That's a good question. One of them is, well, this is a work in progress, but I'm trying not to do everything myself. I'm looking for more assistance. Like we're seeking investors and, I have a team of, salespeople that are helping me build this brand. With Tru-Nut, I did pretty much everything myself. And it worked pretty well, but I'm not going to be able to, I said my goals before, I want to take this, to a very large level and get as many people on board with using this product as I can, and I can't do it all by myself. So I have to be willing to give up some things. That's more of a personal change. With this business itself, I also I learned a lot about how the retail business works with Tru-Nut. I made a lot of mistakes. I lost a lot of money selling to the wrong customers. The retail industry is not really set up for small businesses to thrive. It's set up for large companies who have money to buy shelf space, money to pay for advertising, to pay for coupons. And small businesses don't necessarily have the resources to do all of that. And so they're not the expectations of the retailer are often not going to be able to be met, especially when you have, you know, if it's my product versus a product from, you know, Coca-Cola or some other company that's worth billions of dollars who has a lot more resources than I do, the retailer is almost always going to choose the other product because they're going to be able to support it more with coupons, advertising, TV advertising, all that kind of stuff. So I have to be very selective. I guess I learned to be selective and not chase retailers that are going to cost me a lot of money and are not going to help me build my business. So I learned who to sell to and who not to is the short answer.
That makes sense. And you mentioned with Tru-Nut that you were able to kind of experiment yourself, taste it, see what it tasted like. I'm guessing with spot detergent that you didn't do that same process. So what was that like in terms of product development? Just walk us through that process.
Well, I certainly didn't taste it. I did try it. I tried many different varieties and formulations, and the one that we settled on, I think works the best and also has the most pleasant scent that we found out of any possibility. So it has a very light and subtle scent that is present, but it's not overpowering. I found that they don't want like a chemically scent that is gonna, that's like a fragrance, that people can smell from several feet away. They wanted something light and subtle that had a nice scent. It has like a nice fresh lemon scent. So that's what we were going for. And obviously people have different opinions. Some people, they do like the heavy scent, but I think this is all based on all the feedback that we've got. People really like this scent. In fact, we've got all 5-star reviews so far on Amazon for our product. So I think people like it. I think we made the right choice.
And how did you find the factory in Sweden that you ended up going with? And what was it like working with them? Did you just say, this is my idea, and they started creating products? Was it a longer process? Like, how did that all go?
Oh no, I've essentially contracted them to make this product for me. So they have the machinery and the equipment and all of that. They're set up to make this product. And so we essentially contracted them to make it for us.
And then is this an expensive business to get into or not really?
Any business, well, not any business, any type of like product business like this, I think is relatively inexpensive to get into, but in order to thrive, it takes a lot of money because anybody can order inventory. They can say, oh, I bought, a few hundred, a few thousand, or 10,000 units of inventory. I've got it. I've got a business. I've got a website. Now I can sell it. I can sell it on Amazon. But in order to really thrive, it takes a lot more money and effort. Like, we've hired, PR firms, and we've done influencer marketing, and we're doing, like coupon programs with some retailers. You have to send, the amount of free samples we've sent out is mind-boggling. All of that takes money, but it's all part of the process of, building your brand and letting people know that you exist. With a product like this, it's also important for people to try it. Like I can explain to you all day long how great it is and all these benefits and features, but until you try it and see it for yourself, especially with something like laundry detergent, they don't want to to use something that is, unknown and uncertain. So they need to be able to try it before they're willing to buy a large package in most cases. So sampling is important. We've done a lot of sampling. We've also done a lot of, just traveling and visiting various businesses in order to pitch our product. So all that takes money, all that takes time. So it's inexpensive to officially launch, but in order to thrive, it takes a lot.
And you mentioned that you're looking for investors. Do you have a sense
Mhm.
of how much you want to raise and what kind of the ideal investor looks like?
Yeah, I think what we're looking for from an investor obviously is money, but also someone that has the knowledge and connections in this industry to allow us to grow, or to open doors that I could not open without them. Um, Laundry detergent is a very, I mean, it's one of the oldest industries in our country. Well, not that old, but people have been washing clothes for a long time. And there's a lot of big brands that have been in this space for a long time and are not interested in change. They're not interested in new brands coming on board, um, and threatening their market share. So we need help in order to compete against these brands that are worth, you know, so much more than mine is. And you know, so ideally an investor for my company would be someone that is familiar with this industry. Maybe they've worked for one of my competitors, or they have been, you know, heavily involved in this space and know how to open those doors, how to, you know, what works best when selling a product like this. How do you, you know, what levers do you need to pull in order to maximize your sales on the shelf when you get into these retailers? So that's what's valuable for us.
And then I saw that you did a Kickstarter for this business as well. So I guess what was the motivation behind doing that, and how did that go?
It went pretty well. We met our goal. I I really was more interested in using Kickstarter as a way to promote our business and the concept of laundry detergent sheets. I wanted to get this product in front of as many people as we can, and I viewed Kickstarter as a good way to, really a free way to get ourselves in front of a lot of different people. And I think it, you know, not only did we raise some money, but we were able to do that, and we got some some true believer customers, I guess you could say, people that really align with our mission and what we want to do, and um, hopefully they'll be customers for a long time.
And then one of the reward tiers that I noticed in the Kickstarter was essentially like sponsoring a giveaway. So I think what it said is if someone donated maybe like $100, you would set up a table at a farmer's market and just give out the product for free. How did that go? Because we're thinking about doing something similar, but we haven't necessarily solidified exactly what that would look like.
So yeah, we've given away, as I said before, we've given away a lot of product. And it's, at least for us, it's the best way to get people on board. It's so much more valuable than like a Facebook ad or advertising on Amazon or something like that, because people need to be able to, I think hearing it person to person is important, and then being able to take it home and try it themselves. Like, oh, this is great. Let me take one home. I'm going to try it. And um, that makes the difference. Our product is very good. I mean, that's obviously my opinion, but it's as close to an objective opinion as it can be. Like, our product works very well. And so letting people try it and see it for themselves is key to building this business. And so I want to do a lot more of those. Just whether it's setting up a table at a farmer's market or at some kind of other event. We've even toyed with just mailing a bunch of samples, like picking a zip code somewhere and just sending out thousands of these things, just so that people can try it. And
And
then it'll have like a little flyer with it says, if you like it, go to X store at this address and you can buy it.
And how do you think about identifying the right people to send those samples to? Is it basically you don't know who they're going to be, so you send it to just a large amount of people, or you do you have some strategy in terms of identifying specific people that might be in your target segment that you want to give free samples to?
Yeah, I think we would do a little bit of demographic targeting. The big thing that I would focus on though is doing it around one of our retail stores or around a retail store that sells our product. With the USPS, they have a program called Every Door Direct Mail that allows you to really narrow down exactly who you want your mailing to go to. And so you can just go on their website and you can pick, like, I want people in this zip code in this area. I want to send it to, you know, women or men or, you know, people in this age bracket. So you can break it down pretty well as to who gets it. So it's not just a mass flooding of like every single door is going to get a sample. That would be wasteful and expensive for us to do. But with that program, but the key would be doing it around a store where the person can go buy it.
And I think you mentioned that you guys do influencer marketing. So what's your strategy around that and social media in terms of getting your people talking about your product on social media?
Again, it comes down to just trying it. I think when people try it, they have good things to say. And so I wanted to, there's not really like laundry detergent influencers out there. But there are people that are, you know, they're eco-friendly influencers, or they're mommy bloggers, or people like that that do use this type of products. And so they were ideal targets for us. They were interested in it, they wanted to try it, they were happy to post about it and, you know, talk about how great it was and why they liked it. So we found that those niches were important for us, and we've identified some others as well that I haven't really gone down that path yet. But like, for example, like you know, people who like go on like people who travel a lot, people who go on like bicycle trips. You know, they want to wash their clothes, but they don't have room in their backpack for like a bag or a jar of detergent. They can add our product. It comes essentially in an envelope. You can just throw an envelope in your backpack and take it with you. We also identified like people who are into the tiny house living. It's perfect for them because it doesn't take up any space in your house. So those are areas that you can target with influencer marketing by just, you know, figuring out, you know, who's the ideal fit for my product. And then there are people who post about it online with, you know, with all certainty, there's somebody out there that will want to try it and post about it.
And then you mentioned earlier that one of the things that you're trying to be better about is not doing everything yourself. So, you know, who are all the people that you've been working with to get this thing off the ground?
The biggest help so far has been a sales team that I've been working with, a network of guys that have a lot of connections that I don't have. And so I can go to them and say, you know, I really want to target this retailer, and they'll say, okay, got it. Well, we have somebody who can do that for you. That's been very helpful. I'm still I'm still in the process of hiring other people to help me with more of the day-to-day operations, but uh, that's a work in progress.
And then one of the things that I read on your Kickstarter, which I thought was pretty interesting, is you said in order to get a majority of people to switch to using environmentally friendly products, they have to be convenient, high quality, and importantly, basically affordable. So how can you manage to do all of those things as a startup and be profitable?
I think the key, well, the product itself is convenient and, you know, easy to use and all of that. So that is easy, but making it affordable, I think, I think as Americans, we don't realize how much we're overpaying for things. We products should not, in most cases, not all cases, but especially in the case of laundry detergent, should not be as expensive as it is. I know what it costs to make these products, and it's not that much. And especially when it comes to eco-friendly products, I think when something gets an eco-friendly label, the price doubles. The price goes up because these companies know that people are willing to pay a premium in order to get that product. It's part of their, often it's part of their lifestyle. It's like, it's part of the message they want to convey about them and their personality. So people are willing to pay for that. But that's not what's important to me with this business. What's important is, making it affordable and accessible to everybody. And I know that kind of runs counter to traditional like business thinking, but that I don't care. That's what, I can't accomplish my goals of reducing plastic waste if only so many people can afford this type of product. If everyone else is just buying the same old crappy liquid detergent in a plastic bottle. So I also want to use my business as a platform to show people that you can be profitable while selling products, especially like premium eco-friendly products at a regular price. Like, we're not making a huge market, but we'll make a margin, but we have a good profit. We'll make a good profit. Certainly enough to, build a thriving business. And it also comes down to, I've kind of mentioned this before, like selling to the right retailers. Part of the reason why so many products are so expensive is because the cost to get on the shelf is so high. And in the end, customers pay for that. So there are a lot of grocery stores, most grocery stores in the country will make you give them a free case of product for every store that they sell it in. And so if you're talking about a large chain, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars of free product that you have to give away. And ultimately, as the supplier, what am I going to do? I'm just going to increase my price. And so the customer is paying a higher price. The retailer, they have a lot of fees. They have, all of these return policies and a million different fees that get billed back to the vendor. All of that gets added into the price. So knowing which retailers don't do that, I know that now that I've been doing this business for 10 years. What retailers are going to allow me to sell this product at an affordable price, and it's not most grocery stores. So that's part of it is also, you have to it's knowing where to buy things, where to sell things, where you're able to sell them at an affordable price.
So what is your price versus the price of competitors, for example?
So my price on Amazon, we're $8.99 for a 60 load pack of our product. The cheapest place you can buy our products is at TJ Maxx and Marshalls for $5.99 for the same size. That is one of those retailers that I was talking about that, they don't charge any fees. It doesn't cost any money to sell in their store. They just want a good price. And so I like to work with retailers like that, because not only can you sell it at a good price, but customers go in expecting a good price. Like, they know they're going to go in there and get something that's good, that is also priced very well. So I like working with retailers like that.
And how long have you been selling your product, and how many customers do you have at this point?
So Spot, excuse me. We've been in business for coming up on 7 months now. We're selling to, well, I mentioned TJ Maxx and Marshalls. We're selling to a chain in the Middle East as well that has a few hundred stores. TJ Maxx and Marshalls, I think, is about 2,000 stores. And then we have a couple of smaller chains as well, scattered around the US. So we've got a good base of customers, but I obviously want to sell to a lot more than that.
Got it. And then do you have a sense of your current customers? How many of them are purchasing for that eco-friendly reason versus any other kind of value proposition of the product?
We've done some very preliminary like surveys, and eco-friendly is one of the top reasons, but it's not the top. So, in what we have found so far, the price is, well, I think one of the top two, and then the plastic-free packaging is the other top reason. So far, that's what people are drawn to the most,
Got
at
it.
least from what we have gathered.
Got it. And then another thing that I saw in your Kickstarter is that you said your packaging doesn't necessarily look green or eco-friendly. And I noticed that it looks very familiar. Like it looks like other brands that I've seen before. So can you talk a little bit about why you decided not to go down that kind of like classic startup route of doing the modern packaging that is like very simple, maybe connotes eco-friendliness?
Mhm. Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that. That was exactly what I was going for. I wanted something that looked familiar, because when someone is in the grocery store or in whatever store and they see my product next to Tide, next to Gain, next to 1,000 other laundry detergent products, I want them to look at it and see, oh, this is familiar. This looks like laundry detergent. This looks like a classic, cleaning product. And so, because we're trying to reach more people than just those that are focused on the environment, I think that's part of the approachability is, we're not trying to jam an environmental message down your throat. We're just giving you a good product at a good price. And part of that idea is making the product look, or making the packaging look like a normal cleaning product. I don't want people to look at the product and say, this isn't for me. Doesn't look like the detergent that I've been buying for the past 20 years or 30 years or whatever. I think that's a part of it. There is some psychology behind, making something that is going to fit what the average consumer is looking for.
And are there any brands that inspire you either in your space, in an adjacent space, or just in an entirely different space?
I hate to say it, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. I've been looking. I want to find other brands that, care about, this, even if it's not an environmental mission, maybe it's something else. It's something else that they're passionate about, but they're not. They want to bring that because it's important, for whatever reason, it's important to them. They want to bring it to everybody, and they're not putting up barriers like a high price in order to reach all of those people. Like, I know what I'm doing is important because I know it's important to get rid of plastic from our waste stream for, we all know the reasons why. And I don't want to create barriers for people to buying my product and for, getting rid of plastic, or when I look at a lot of other eco-friendly companies, I don't see that being used. I see products being sold at a really high price. And people certainly buy them, but not enough. And I don't think it will ever be enough in order to make a real impact on those 700 million jugs of detergent that are thrown away every year.
And in terms of your current sales, how much are coming through retail versus your own website versus Amazon?
Retail, I think right now, it's almost half of our sales is retail, and the rest would be online. Amazon is the majority of our online sales. But yeah, various retailers are accounting for almost half of our sales so far.
And then if you reach the scale that you're kind of hoping to get to, do you think it would be a lot more retail just because that's where a lot of people shop for detergent?
100%. Yes, I think so. I think you know, as much as people love shopping online, they still go to the grocery store. They still go to, you know, stores like TJ Maxx, stores like Dollar Tree all the time. And um, we have to be where they shop.
And for the online customers, would you consider doing a subscription, or is that not something that you're too interested in?
We did try a subscription. We do still offer it on our website. You can also do subscribe and save on Amazon. Um, I think, yeah, I think that is important just because it's not, I mean, everyone uses laundry detergent. You're not going to stop using laundry detergent. So, I think a subscription is a good idea.
And then just in general, what's your long-term vision for this company?
My long-term vision, obviously, you know, get in more stores, sell to more customers. Um, I want to take this same idea and use it with other products, because plastic is so present in so many things that we buy, particularly like household cleaning products. And that's uh, um, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Um, yes, plastic. I want to create other products that are plastic free, that do are sold at a price that people can afford. I want them to be able, I want to make it easy for them to ditch plastic. And so detergent is one thing. It's a very big thing, but there are other things like, you know, toothpaste, like hair products that are all have come in plastic packaging that don't necessarily have to. But when you look at the alternatives right now, they're almost always much more expensive than the typical shampoo bottle that you buy at the store for $3, or the tube of toothpaste that's $2. So we have to find ways to lower that price, um, in order to get people to switch. And laundry detergent was an easy one because there was, you know, it was it didn't take a lot of work, honestly. I just had to not gouge my prices in order to sell something at an affordable price.
Yeah, so I actually have a friend who's doing something similar. He's doing plastic-free products in it's kind of like toothpaste,
Oh,
shampoo, conditioner, soap,
hmm.
shaving cream. So I'll have to connect you guys because I feel like you guys have similar missions and you're kind of, I think at similar stages because I think he's been selling for maybe like 7 or 8 months like you two. So definitely connect you
Awesome.
two.
Yes, please.
One of the other things that I was kind of thinking about as you were talking, it makes potentially makes sense for you to get acquired down the line, but how would you think about that given that a lot of these big corporations don't necessarily share your mission?
Um, that is a great point. I think at some point, in order to compete against these billion-dollar companies like Procter and Gamble, I will have no choice but to partner with a larger company, a larger, whether it's a private equity firm or a venture capital or a strategic, you know, CPG company. Um, I think that will inevitably be needed in order to help us grow. The thing that to balance against, you know, this, you know, investor that's coming in that does not share or does not necessarily share my passion or beliefs. I think when they see that, you know, what we're doing is sustainable in terms of, you know, profitability, without sacrificing like what we believe in, and we can sell at a good price, still make money, while keeping the quality high. I'm hoping that they will see that and say, we can just continue to do this. We don't need to change everything because what you're doing is working. We just need to help you build it to a bigger level. So I think, like I was saying before, like I want to use this as a model to show other people that this works. And part of that is showing investors that this works. Because the model right now for, you know, small like startup businesses is, you know, often involves charging a premium price for your product. At least in like the food world, that's what I saw time and time again. Same in laundry detergent. Like most of my competitors are charging twice what we charge. And I know that that's going to be, some people are going to see a red flag when they see that, but I think I want my results to be able to speak for themselves. So I hope that answers your question.
That does answer the question. And then these last few questions, we can do a more kind of like rapid fire. So it doesn't have to be like a sentence, but maybe like 30 seconds to a minute. So what's one thing that keeps you up at night about this business?
Wow. Um, getting well, it kind of has to do with what I just said. Getting adoption from companies like retailers that are hesitant to try new things. We've spoken with a lot of retailers, a lot of very big retailers in the United States about this product, and we've run into a lot of hesitancy. They don't want to, they don't want to try something new for whatever their reason is. And I worry that that's going to be a tough barrier to cross going forward. Eventually, one day they'll have to. Though there will be enough market forces that force them to do it. But I don't, I don't want to wait that long, and I want to be the one to be able to, to convince them to try this product in their stores. So that's what keeps me up.
And what's been your biggest learning so far? This is your second business now. What's been the number one thing that you've learned?
Number one thing that I've learned, because this business is more of like a mission-based business and has more to do with my passions, I have to stick to what I believe in. And I set out with a very specific goal and doing things in a very specific way with this business. And there's a lot of temptation to cut corners and, do something that, is not necessarily the best in order to, speed things along, or just make things easier. And I have to remember that I'm doing this. The money is nice, but if I wanted to just make money, I would be doing something else. And so I have to remember that the money will come, but if I stick to what I do and what I believe, and I keep telling people what I believe, and I know people will, I know there are people out there who believe what I believe and want to support a business that does this. And I know that will make me successful. Sticking to what I believe in, not cutting those corners, and sticking to that. So that's something that I've had to remind myself a lot.
And this is going to be kind of related, but what's been the hardest part so far about building this business?
Hardest part has been, I think it goes back to what I was saying about the adoption, getting customers and retailers to try something new. It's tough. Especially, retailers, they have, they only have a certain amount of space on their shelf, and they don't want to take something out that is selling in order to try something that may not sell. They're not in the risk taking, and they're not in the risk taking business. And so that's been tough. That's tough.
And what's been the most rewarding part?
The most, so quite a few things. I think I really love getting great feedback. I love it when someone tries it, when especially if they're like somebody who is skeptical or hesitant to try, and they tried it anyway and they loved it. I really like that. And I love that we've gotten so many great reviews online. If you go on our Amazon page, it's all 5 stars, every single one. And that makes me feel really good. And that reminds me that that people are supporting what I'm doing, but they also just like a great product at a great price. So even if you don't care about my beliefs and my mission, you can still buy a great product at a great price.
And what does
So
success look like for you with this company?
I want to make this concept of laundry detergent sheets and plastic-free packaging. I want to make that mainstream so that other companies like Procter and Gamble can't ignore it, and they have to adjust in order to um, make make a change. Like cutting the number of of plastic bottles that end up in a landfill is success to me. And yeah, that's for every product that we sell, that's one less plastic bottle that ends up in a landfill. So that's how I'm measuring success.
And what advice do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Oh boy. Um, wow. I mean, it so depends on what you're doing, but if you're doing something that matters to you, then remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, and money will come. If you do, I know that sounds very, oh, phony maybe, but it really is true. And that it's the way it has to work. If you believe in something, then you know, I wouldn't want to sacrifice that. I don't, I wouldn't, that I would not feel very good about that. So
And
sticking to what I believe in is important.
and what's one thing that's gotten easier the second time around with entrepreneurship?
Well, I I didn't have any money when I started my first business. So I was able to use uh my first business to help launch my second business. So that made things a little bit easier. Um, um, I think that and just the knowledge of how the retail industry works has made it a lot easier. But there's new challenges here. There's, I'm going up against much bigger competition in this space than I was in the world of powdered peanut butter. So everything is at a bigger level. More people use laundry detergent than powdered peanut butter. So everything is bigger.
And what do you know now that you wish you knew when you started?
Um, hmm, um, it's hard to get your voice out there. You have to work very hard, especially when, part of, um, I'd like to think that the product speaks for itself, but um, like I said, I want to do more with this business, and getting my voice out there is difficult without spending a ton of money on, advertising and all that stuff. So, um, getting in front of those people who believe what you believe is not as easy as just, going on Instagram and or Facebook and making a post.
And then is there just anything at the very end of this podcast that you wanted to plug, either in terms of what you're up to, where customers can find you, anything like that?
Yeah, I would just say go to spotdetergent.com or check us out on social media. The best place to buy is probably Amazon. Just Google or just search on Amazon spot detergent. It's $8.99 with free Prime shipping. Yeah, that's and if even if you don't care about the environment, you know, we make a great laundry detergent at a great price.
Awesome. Well, that's all I had in terms of questions. I appreciate you you coming on. It was a fun conversation. Definitely learned a lot. It's always fun to have these conversations and kind of talk to other people who are in similar positions as ourselves.
Absolutely. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it.